Hey guys, Sunday Slot Cars here, and today was part 2 of opening a pay-to-play slot car track. So in part 1, you've watched part 1, you decided, okay, I'm either have a small slot car club or I'm going to be selling product. Here's part 2, because here's the thing, don't just think you can watch my old videos of how to design a slot car track and think that's what's going to apply to a public slot car track or a club slot car track, because it's not. The first thing you need to discuss, that you're going to be thinking about, is scale. Now, in my mind, you have 2 track options, 2 track scale options. The first is HO, and the reason you want to do HO is because it's popular, it's cheap, and it doesn't take up much space. Because when you're making a track for your store, you need to remember, you need to have product out. You need to have product on display. People aren't just going to buy your stuff if they can't see that you're selling it. And your second option is Carrera, 1/24 scale track. Now remember, the 1/32 scale systems like the Motodrome behind me comes with 1/24 scale track, so that's cool. But the reason why I don't recommend 1/32 scale track, guess why?
Well, because then you're just limiting yourself to 132.
Exactly. And you can bring out your stupid little ruler and be like, I'm just gonna, there are some 1/32 tracks that are more spaced out. And this is no shade to that system. This is not, usually I talk a bunch of shit. This is not me talking shit. This is just me saying, if you're going to be running a professional slot car track, you want to have as big a clientele as you can. And, some people are going to want to get the Slotits for the 1/32, and other people might want to get the Carrera Digital 1/24. Speaking of which, you can get all this product on our website. I'll have the link down below. Support the channel. Help get them into some more jewelry.
You need to. That's not what I'm getting out of this.
Help me get a pinball machine. That's what this is really about. She's not denying it. So yeah, you can support the channel, and we're gonna continue our talk now. You don't want to be. No, I'm gonna put a little sticker on the 1/24s that'll work. No, listen. You want to have people who are I had somebody say they used to do wing racing, and I was with 1/24 bodies. I'm like, well, we have 1/24 cars, and it just works way better. You also have to consider if you want digital or analog. Now, I always trash talk analog, but the truth is analog, everything works with analog. But the minus line to analog is that it takes up more storeroom. That's the big issue. That's kind of why I feel like the old school slot car tracks went belly up, because they had to take up so much room to have that 8-lane, 120-foot course. Whereas with digital, one of the big pros to digital is now you could have 6 people, so 2 races less.
For 132 scale.
Yeah, 1/24 scale too.
For 6?
It's possible to get the track to run 6 from 1/24 allegedly. I'm not saying you can do it. Don't get excited. I'm saying allegedly. There is a way. I've seen it. But listen, it's more about the fact that you can get more product out and you're taking up less room, because you got to consider your rent. Your rent is literally what's going to make or break you. It isn't just the sales. To me, it's half sales and half rent. We've already gone through location last time, but this is more about utilizing the space. So you can get a tech slots for Carrera Digital, which will let you run analog, but the problem with that is that it's limited to just 2 lanes. I've talked to the tech slots guy. You're not gonna be able to get a 4-lane switch box to be able to switch 4 lanes, and I'm not even sure it was possible, because when I was doing the wiring, we're gonna address this in a future review, but you have to wire it special when you're doing the multi-lane start, and I'm not 100% sure that you could wire it different for analog, because it would not work with analog the way I have the track wired. I'm really excited for that review, by the way. Be excited for our for our multi-lane start review. That'll be coming up soon. Notice I'm not giving the date. You also now we need to think about, is this beginner friendly? You don't want to make the track course hard. You might think you might enjoy some tricky sections and having it all curvy and stuff, But the truth is, it should be KISS. Like, you want to give the least amount of home track advantage as possible. You don't want new people coming in and just losing to the pros. You want them to be, oh, I was a couple laps behind, or I did pretty good. If they're wiping all the time, they're not going to come back. Now, this is like an interesting point. You're kind of in competition with your customers' home tracks. Now, what do I mean by that? Thanks to the internet, people like to run their events from their homes, and they kind of like to shift home by home. You need to find a way to draw people to your track. So I found out that a lot of people that I was selling track to in this area were building home tracks. So what I did to set ourselves unique and set ourselves apart was I made a 4-lane Carrera digital track. Now, a lot of people aren't going to have room or want to use the money for a 4-lane Carrera digital track. They'll have to come to the flea market to do that. So, like, I think a good story was my friend who runs a video game store. Everybody wanted him to run Smash tournaments, video game tournaments, I should say. I'm not breaking any copyright. He wanted to charge money, and they're like, well, why should we pay? Why should we pay you? We could just run this at our home. And he's like, well, why should I run it if you're not going to pay me? So just keep in mind, you need to have yourself a unique experience, and you're always going to be working to improve your designs. You always have to buy new things to keep it fresh. So when you're planning a track, you need to keep in mind, you're going to have to fight some of your members about this or business partners, but you're going to want to keep it simple. You want to have maybe one tricky section max in your course.
Call it the corner.
Yeah, people called it the corner when we had it. It was a 1x60 curves. People have a really hard time with that. You might even want to have, like, if you like the squeeze track sections or the hairpin turn, you're probably gonna want to avoid those. People don't want their car damaged any more than it needs to be. Like, if somebody hits you in the double lane change, that's not as big of a deal as a squeeze track. People can get offended by the squeeze track, and like the momentum of hitting the car to the side could knock a car off the table. Remember, we're trying to keep these customers' cars as reserved as possible, despite the temptation of trying to sell them the spare parts. So with that, this is Sunday Slot Cars. Thanks for watching. Subbing makes us grow. Talk to you guys later.
Comment, subscribe, like, and buy some product to please support this channel.
Yeah, bye. Thanks for the support, guys.
Bye.